We have a lot to share with you on this VA news, like
VA reduced the benefits backlog by 44% in the last year.
we show you how VA audiologists can examine and treat a veteran's ears from hundreds of miles away.
Then we introduce you to some of the veterans who were champions at the 2014 Paralympics in Sochi.
Hello, I'm Yvonne Rannells with the Office of Diversity and Inclusion.
And I'm Gerardo Romero, a retired Marine Corps Staff Sergeant, now working with the VA Learning University. And this is VA News.
It's been just over a year since VA's backlog of pending disability compensation claims peaked at over 611,000. VA reported last month that number is at 344,000 claims, down 44%, a reduction of more than 267,000. And Secretary Shinseki reported VA has improved the accuracy of decisions being made on veterans' disability claims, and on average, veterans are waiting 119 days less for a decision than they were at this time last year. For more information on the backlog reduction, go to the VA blog post, Vantage Point, at the address on the screen.
Allowing veterans to meet their health care providers without traveling to a medical facility is rapidly becoming one of the most cost-efficient and time-saving ways for our veterans to receive their health care. And the veterans absolutely love it. In Miami and Key West, and the 161 miles or just over 3 hours in between, Larry Gilstad and Adam Poitres produce this report.
Today is a hearing aid walk-in clinic day, which basically just means that it's not scheduled appointments. It's patients just show up at the Key West clinic if they're having problems with their hearing aid. In Miami, we do walk-in twice a week, so it is a little bit more accessible, but the problem in regards to the Keys patients is that we run it in the mornings, and it is, if it's from Key Largo, at least an 1.5 to 2 hour trip, and if it's from Key West, you're looking at more of a 5-hour trip, and that's just in one direction. So for them to make it up here for our walk-in clinic hours, it would require either staying over the night before, or it would require them getting up anywhere from 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning to drive up here. And so there's a convenience factor, obviously, when it's right up the road in one of the lower keys for them to be able to go down there, and they like it a lot more.
Here,
Thank you.
Seat.
Hi there.
Dr. Dombrowski, she's in Miami.
How you doing, doctor?
Hi, Mr. McCarthy. So we need to reprogram your recently returned hearing aids, yes?
Yes.
You want more volume? Okay.
We're going to start by just taking a look in your ears, make
Okay.
sure there's no wax clogging them up,
Sure.
and then we'll program the hearing aid.
Fine, thank you. If I didn't have this clinic, I would be forced to drive to the VA hospital in Miami, which would be an all-day affair.
Oh, nice.
And then, you know, hopefully get an appointment that you could fit in that time that you'd be there. I've already been to Miami and spent 12, 14 hours, you know, either traveling and being seen. So this is so much more convenient.
We tend not to spend more than 30 minutes with a patient if we can help it, just because a lot of them need to be seen. So what we'll do in that case, if it is very complex, is schedule them an appointment. But it also will be down in Key West. It still doesn't require a trip up here. It just, they might have to wait a little bit longer. But think about what happens if you drove up here for 5 hours for an appointment that literally took 2 minutes to complete. I mean, that would just be very upsetting to me if I had to do that.
This is actually what she sees on her desktop.
Okay.
So she's now taking control of your hearing aids, and she can.
It's space age, you know, to me. I'm not computer literate, but I do have a computer at home, but this is absolutely, you know, they looked in my ears today. My ears were clean, and then they put on the device that they could control my hearing aids was absolutely amazing. Okay, the doctor's not touching me, but the doctor's there. I'm talking to a doctor, yes. I think I'm getting the best care that they possibly could give me.
And you know, come back and see us before the test if you have any more problems, okay?
Sure will.
Okay.
Thank you.
The telehealth program at the Miami VA schedules over 87 clinic connections every week for audiology, dermatology, eye exams, the Women Veterans Program, podiatry, mental health, and many more, all to better serve our veterans.
Hi, I'm Rico Roman. I'm Vernon Davis.
I'm Oksana Masters, and you're watching
VA
VA
News.
News.
A number of veterans participated and some did quite well in the recent Paralympics in Sochi, Russia.
Those distinguishing themselves received awards at the Warner Theater in Washington, D.C. on April 2nd. It was the first ever U.S. Olympic Committee's Best of U.S. Awards for Olympians and Paralympians. We were there to chat with them.
This event on a whole is just so much fun because it's really that relaxed format where you can come, you can enjoy yourself, you can celebrate, and not only are there Olympians, there's Paralympians, there's just so much in this event that's so special.
I couldn't ask for better games. It was my 4th Paralympics, my first winner, and it was absolutely breathtaking, from the opening ceremonies to the venues to the volunteers and then to the competition. It was an experience of a lifetime.
People that, are there because they were serving their country, it's an honor to be an Olympian and represent them, but people who are serving and protecting and doing those things for us is, it's pretty undescribable. It really takes it to another level.
Veterans that represented us so well, really heroes, and now, to represent us in a different capacity is just very, very, they must be so proud, and we're proud of them.
It was an amazing experience to be able to play against the top countries and the top teams in the world, 7 other different countries there, and to be able to play at that top level was something unreal. And also to be a part of Team USA and part of 16 other great Americans to be able to represent our country. I am involved in a lot of adaptive sports there in San Antonio, but you still need the equipment, and I was fortunate that the VA provided this equipment.
My local VA is Denver, in Colorado. I go to VA all the time for all my appointments, and ever since I got out in 2007, they've pretty much taken care of all of my needs. I think VA has helped me, direct me, and guide me to where I am today. Programs like Operation Rebound, Challenge Athletes Foundation that the VA helps. They put me from 15 medications down to 3. So I'm living proof that sports is a great way of rehabilitation.
If you're a vet or even if you're not a vet, get out there and do something that makes you happy. It could be anything, but personally mine is sports, and that's why I'm here. And sports is a great outlet, so just get out there and do something that makes you happy.
All the athletes visited with the President and the First Lady at the White House. A few of the veterans in the Paralympics were in Snowmass, Colorado last week for the 31st National Veterans Winter Sports Clinic. We'll have more on that in the next show.
Last month, on VA's 25th anniversary as a cabinet-level agency, Secretary Shinseki celebrated with employees at VA Central Office and spoke to the important role of caring for our nation's veterans.
Thanks to those who worked hard to get veterans that seat at the table. And thanks to them, veterans are no longer forgotten in our deliberations over national affairs. They now can have their say, not just on their own behalf, but on behalf of those who came before them and all those who will come after that, maybe even for the next 150 years. Better advocacy, better oversight, more support, and more and better care and benefits. That's what a seat at the table is meant for veterans, who now have the opportunity to live a better life in a country they defended. Thank you for all you do each and every day to accomplish our sacred, and I mean that, our sacred mission, keeping the promises of presidents and meeting the obligations of the American people. That's what we do here at VA. I'm very proud to serve with all of you, but all of you here in this location and all of you out there in our distant locations.
Short and long-term employees participated in the celebration. Several employees attending were working at VA when President Reagan signed the bill transforming the Veterans Administration into the Department of Veterans Affairs on March 25, 1989. To highlight the past 25 years of service to veterans, their families, and survivors by VA, we will share 25 facts today and in future shows that you may not know about the department. For example, VA still cares for the child of a Civil War veteran. About half of the 22 million veterans in this country are registered, enrolled, or use at least one VA benefit or service. And in the 25 years VA has been a cabinet agency, its budget has more than tripled.
James McEachin had a starring role on TV 4 decades ago. He has acted in more than 40 movies, including with John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, and that's not what he wants to be remembered for. The Korean War veteran prefers to be thought of as a man who served when called and as an advocate for other veterans. He wears his Purple Heart proudly. McEachin is the latest subject of our series on veterans who are still serving long after their service is over. Here's a look.
There was a patrol the night before, and they had captured one of our GIs, and they stripped his body upside down and pinned him upside down against the hill. And so our guys decided to form a patrol to go and rescue the body, which we obviously knew was going to be some sort of a trap or an ambush or something. This patrol was led by a Lieutenant Henry A. Schenck, whom I really didn't know. And you got to remember, at that particular time in the Army, the whites didn't fraternize with the blacks, etc. And so I didn't really know him, but he was someone whom you knew that you had to respect. And so when he formed a patrol, I, like the rest of the guys, the 12 or 15 guys, volunteered to go to rescue this young boy who was pinned on the side of the hill.
You can view the entire Still Serving on the VA homepage. Just click on Media Room, then Video. You can also watch it on the VA YouTube page, VA's Knowledge Network, the Content Distribution Network, and the Pentagon channel.
In the last VA news, we had extensive coverage of the Medal of Honor ceremonies of 24 recipients of the Distinguished Cross pass over for the top award due to their racial or ethnic backgrounds. Did you know? One of the heroes lives on in the memory of those who knew him because an uncle he never knew is his namesake. The first, Leonard Kravitz, was a Korean War hero whose citation for the Medal of Honor will chill you and make you shudder. The current-day Lenny Kravitz is the New York-born rocker known for his music and his acting, particularly his recurring role in the Hunger Games movies. The current Lenny Kravitz only remembers growing up listening to others, but it does not diminish the pride he has in the name. Here is a report provided to us by Army News.
Grammy Award winner Lenny Kravitz was named after his uncle, Leonard M. Kravitz, a private first class in the Army and of Jewish descent who gave the ultimate sacrifice while defending his unit's position during the Korean War.
The first visual that I can remember about my Uncle Leonard was a painting over my grandmother's television in her apartment in Brooklyn.
PFC Kravitz received the Distinguished Service Cross in 1951 when his unit was overrun by enemy forces in Yangpyeong, Korea. PFC Kravitz voluntarily manned a machine gun position, forcing the enemy to direct its efforts toward himself, helping his comrades safely retreat, but at the cost of his own life. Cy Kravitz, which is Lenny's father, says Lenny would have liked his uncle.
He always told me that I would have liked Leonard because he was a little softer than he was.
You didn't have to go push-ups?
Oh, I had the whole thing, man. I was addressed like a private for many years.
And for many years, the Distinguished Service Cross was the highest award PFC Kravitz received until now. Congress mandated a review of records for all soldiers of that era to ensure veterans weren't overlooked due to prejudice or discrimination. In result, the Distinguished Service Cross of 24 Army veterans, including PFC Kravitz, have been upgraded to the Medal of Honor.
Lori Wenger, accepting on behalf of her uncle, Private First Class Leonard.
It's part of who I am, you know. I am Leonard Kravitz, and I'm very proud to be named after him and, you know, carry his name forward. And, you know, he's part of me. You know?
That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Gerardo Romero.
And I'm Yvonne Reynolds. Have a great day and rest of your week.